But we're going to start right off with Undead Unluck episode 2. The episode is called Union. Andy makes a move on Fuko. We have some uninvited guests from the mysterious organization, the Union, show up. How will Andy and Fuko get out of this one? So this episode starts off pretty hot and heated. Like, you watch through like some not really recap stuff, but just kind of going over the basis of like Fuko's childhood and the story so far. And all of a sudden, the scene just cuts to Andy like pinning Fuko against a wall, saying, "All right, let's have beep," because for some reason they beep out sex. I don't know. It's got to be Japanese censorship laws, but he thinks that because the kiss caused a meteorite to fall, getting down and dirty with it is going to cause a massive case of unlock, enough to potentially kill him. And like the fact that episode 2 started off so heated just had me crying. I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Yeah, it definitely picked up right where it left off last time. I still don't, like I said, I still don't understand why they're bleeping out sex, even though they're mature. I guess it is a Japanese thing, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because they're on live TV, but still, you'd think that like being on Hulu and stuff, it would have that capability to not censor it out, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Family Guy or something on Hulu, they say sex all the time. That's not a big deal. So I think it's gonna be something in Japan.
Yeah.
But after this scene, Fuko starts to panic, and she doesn't want to lose her V card in this way at all. Like, she's not down. And she comes up with a brilliant idea to tell Andy that the key to her unlock is likability. It's not just how aggressive the physical touch is. So if Andy forces himself on her, she'll end up hating his guts. And like the unluck won't do anything besides like sprain his ankle like it did to the old man she hated and kissed as a kid.
But you know that little explanation, it didn't make sense because she said did she not say that was her grandpa?
I just thought she said it was an old man. I don't think she said it was her grandpa.
I could have swore she said it was her grandpa, and that he had like a set of false teeth or whatever that she really hated. And I even rewatched it a couple times. I was like, wait, is it because she didn't love him as much as she loved her parents? Is that where she's going?
I think that's where she was going if it was her grandpa, yeah.
But I mean, still, like, her love for her grandpa should still be pretty high, right? Unless she was just scared of his teeth.
I mean, I'm not gonna assume anyone loves their grandparents. You know, he could have been a dick. I don't know.
But he seemed like a nice old man.
Regardless, she didn't like him.
I guess I was very confused. They could have used a different explanation, I guess. No, but even at that point, like, why is her unluck so fierce against like some of the agents that we seen in the last episode? You know, if she don't like them.
I think she was really just grasping for straws here to try and not go to Pound Town, you know?
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, okay. I never thought about it like that. Maybe she's just bullshitting right now.
I think she's doing a little bullshitting. But this causes Andy to come up with a new plan. So he's not going to let her die until she falls in love with him. So after that, they travel to Andy's armory. And I guess he has these all around the world. And this scene is really funny. It shows Fuko in like steel plate armor, like a gas mask, like everything. So she's bulletproof, stab proof, chemical proof. She is basically like a child in a glass box. Like, you can't touch him.
And I don't know how she can walk around, bro. She's got to be so heavy.
Dude, so top heavy. It's like when you're playing Skyrim and you're encumbered and you're just like walking slowly through a dungeon because you don't want to drop your shit. But yeah, so after that, you know, Fuko's good to go. She's good to not die. And Andy tells Fuko that the group that's after them will be back today and pretty much every damn day until they're caught. Andy explains that he was caught like 50 years ago and they experimented him on a bunch, and it was like 10 years before he finally escaped. And he just starts rattling off all the terrible things they're gonna do to her if they catch her. They're like, they're gonna you so many people are gonna die figuring out what your unluck is. Like, they're gonna cut your fingers off to see if your fingers will still activate it when they're not attached to you. And she's just freaking out. And I thought it was a really funny scene.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's crazy that you know, there's people out there like that that wants to actually do that. And we actually don't know how long he's been alive, which is wild too. We're starting to get like Freerin territory, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's got to be at least like 150, 200 years old, man. I mean, he says that he unlocks 100 years of his memory when he pulls out that little blade out of his head, and that thing it wasn't put in there when he was 0. Like, makes you curious.
Maybe one day, I know they kind of talked about it, and she asked him how old she was, I think, in this scene, and he just like diverted the question, and it just makes me wonder if we'll ever know. So
I think we'll get it eventually, but like, if you're trying to get a girl to get down with you, you don't tell her you're 200 years old. That's a big turnoff, especially for an 18-year-old.
true, true, true.
But after that scene, they hop on Andy's motorcycle, and Andy is standing on this thing, driving with his feet, with a katana over his shoulder, and Fuku's just sitting in a sidecar. And I'm like, this shit is so out of pocket, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely they're definitely weird. This kind of has the like Zom 100 feels, honestly, where it's just so free. I guess free is the best word to describe it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just out there. Like, it doesn't need to make sense. It's just fun. But so
But
we after the scene with the motorcycle, we hop into the intro. And this is the first time we've seen it. We didn't see it episode 1. So what do you think of the intro?
yeah, well, the song, we obviously got at the end of the last episode, but the actual visuals and stuff that went with it, it was actually really good. It was a fun watch. They done the animation styles really fun. Like I said, it kind of reminded me of like Zom 100 colors. Honestly, it had like a lot of colorful, colorful animations and unique animations. So it was really fun. Plus the music, man. That song is just like really good. So
Yeah, I mean, the song is just titled One by
yeah.
the artist Queen Bee. And I thought the intro was really cool. Like, the fact that it was very simple, and like, you just had the characters with like crazy kaleidoscope images behind them. And it kind of brought me back. Like, I feel like anime intros have just gotten way more generic lately, where they just show like fight scenes and stuff. So I thought it was cool to have something a little different.
Yeah, fight scenes and spoilers, honestly, and I wish that more anime would go to like the just the unique OPs
Obscure.
with the good songs. Kind of like One Piece, the newest One Piece OP, like they done the anime, the visuals, very good in that. They didn't really focus on a lot of fighting and stuff. They just focused on the song and like the big O, which was really cool. So
Yeah, there were definitely still some spoilers in that, though. I
yeah,
mean, they
definitely, but
they showed Big Boy Momo well before we saw him in the anime.
yeah, definitely some definitely some spoilers in it still, but at least it's not as bad. There was spoilers in this too if you didn't see.
I did.
Um yeah.
The ending had a
So
lot of spoilers too, and we'll get into that later. But
yeah. Guess we don't have to know about some things, so
yeah, definitely not. We won't spoil it, but we'll get into it a little bit when we talk about the song and stuff. But so we get out of the intro, and all of a sudden we see the sky shatter behind them like glass. And Andy talks about that. That's how this group warps. So these guys are just breaking realities to come wherever they want. It doesn't even matter. So they're already broken. And we see 2 members of this group pop out. And I was very excited because one of them was a giant robot.
I didn't even look at it like that. I just seen him in like a big suit of armor, it felt like. Or like Mechamaru, I guess. kinda.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the not Genos, but who's the other cyborg guy
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
from One Punch Man? He reminded me of that,
Yeah,
but
he's the one that always like makes clones or whatever and never goes to the fights himself or whatever.
yeah, it's kind of like
So
Mekamaru, dude.
yeah.
But so this group comes up, and all of a sudden, one of them starts boxing with Andy, and the other like traps Fuko using some weird ability, and like her ass is like just straight up glued to his junk. And I'm like, yo, you touching Andy's girl like that, dude? What you doing?
I thought that scene was questionable. I was like, they definitely did that on purpose. They did that on purpose, bro.
Oh, definitely, dude. But Andy starts boxing with this giant mech armor suit guy, and all of a sudden he like goes to attack and just freezes midair and just gets smoked, like absolutely bodied. And he is sitting there trying to figure out what their abilities are. And Fuko thinks it's her captor. And Andy, just with all of his experience fighting the negators and things like that, it's like, no, their abilities are similar, but they're really not. You know, they have a different range, different abilities, things like that. And he realizes that during his fight, he can actually hit this giant mech guy after he's been attacked. So if this opponent throws a punch, it negates the negator ability, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, I think after so they got into it a little bit. So after his negate ability on whatever it was, uh it only worked when he was in an attack stance. So I assume after an attack had been thrown, therefore he is out of the attack stance. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You know, just
Yeah.
funny. That's how it worked.
Yeah, it's the these abilities are definitely like wild.
They're fun. They're
Yeah.
really fun. And they're going to be so random too, because it's kind of like Nen, where you can kind of like your ability is just very bizarre. You know, like I never thought you'd see a opponent where all of a sudden you go to throw a punch, and if they haven't already hit you, like you just freeze up. That's a crazy broken ability.
And it's also going to be fun to see how so every ability apparently has to have the un in front of it, kind of is the way it goes. So it's going to be fun to see what kind of abilities we're actually going to see that un does something. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically, they negate a rule of the world we live in.
yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. So after this, Fuko asks Shen, like, oh, sorry. Well, his name's Shen. They haven't introduced it yet, but his name is Shen. That's her captor with the blue hair. If they'll be chased forever. And he tells her that due to the whole meteorite episode, she really jumped up on the list of UMAs, which are what they are. They're unidentified phenomenon, monster things, whatever it translates to. But due to that, she's jumped up to a level 8. And Fuko asks why these two negators aren't being chased by this organization. So this is where we get introduced to the Union, the Anti-Unidentified Phenomena Control Organization. I don't know how that acronym becomes Union, but I'm gonna roll with it.
I'm down, bro.
It should be OPCO if we're going by normal organization rules, but we're gonna let it slide.
Yeah.
So it turns out there are 10 special negators that make up the elite ranks. And once you get this position, you are no longer chased by the Union as long as you commit to complete missions for them. There's also going to be a few tests to join the organization. But that gets Fuko thinking. He's like, oh, we could just join your organization. That'd be perfect. We won't get chased anymore. And then the robot, whose name is Void, just shows up out of nowhere. He's like, tough shit, little girl. We already got 10 members. And you just see Andy like save her from this attack and go, I like this idea. Let's join. That way we can become the hunters, not the hunted. We just got to take two of these bozos out and we can steal their seats.
True. He's onto something, bro. He's got a plan. He's got
Hey
a
man,
point. So
it's a plan. It's gonna probably work. So Fuko touches Andy to create some unluck. And the two negators from the Union realize this, Shen and Void. And they're talking. Shen's just standing there like all goofy, like, and Void's like, "You got to get out of here, bro. Like, you really got to get out of here." And you just see across the screen the entire time, you see Andy slowly backing up towards them. And then all of a sudden, like a truck careens off a bridge and just smokes the three of them. I
And
love
with
that scene.
I did too. And you know, it's funny. I still didn't see many people, but obviously there's people because there's trucks. So
Yeah, I think they're like, we talked about it during the bullshit episode last week. And I think they're doing a really good job focusing on the main cast and not putting distractions out there. I think that's what they're trying to do.
yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. I'm just curious to where all the people actually is, and if there was people actually driving that truck, or if it just appeared out of nowhere. I
No,
don't know.
there was somebody driving that truck. Somebody died.
Damn.
But so Andy takes this truck head on, and he's pretty beat up. And the two union members make it out of there. Void's got Shen on his back. And so Andy flies away into this building, saying he needs time to figure out their abilities. And he's sitting there going through it, and he's like, well, they're external negator types, like they have effects on other people, this and that. And he sits down, and you just hear a time clicking, like a click, click, click. And you look over, and there's just a dynamite all over this place. And the funny thing is, this is not even because of her ability. This is just a total coincidence. They flew into a building that is about to be just destroyed, collapsing on itself. Like they're just making room for a new building or something like that. And this building falls on Andy, Void, and Shen. I did not see that coming at all.
No, I was a little confused at first, and then I was like, "There's no way that's still Fuko's ability. That's got to be something else going on there. It seems too much. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, and her ability is pretty set in stone from what we can tell. Like if she touches you, a bad thing happens. But if she touches you, two bad things aren't going to happen.
Yeah.
So this was all just dumb luck. So Void survives and states that unless you can predict the unluck Fuko's ability, it's not a weapon, it's just a disaster. And Void finds Andy's arm just hanging out of some rubble. And he goes up and grabs it, thinking that he's finally caught Andy and they can take him back to the facility. And it turns out that Andy's arm is just like a dismembered limb just hanging out in some rubble. And Andy walks up behind him talking some shit. And then just pulls out the old finger pistol. But with Andy's ability, it's not a finger pistol, it's like a bang bang. It's like he literally bit his finger off and used propulsion of blood to absolutely just make this thing fly into Void's headpiece. He had like one weak spot on his head where his camera was, or his eyes could see from, and shoots him right through the dome, and Void just goes down.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what all the capabilities that he has. Honestly, like the finger pistols, that's pretty neat. That's like very, you know, very unique. So his way of doing it, at least.
Yeah, dude, he called it a parts bullet. So it's basically the same thing as him shooting his legs off to fly through the air, but he did it with a little finger blicky.
Imagine if he can like do that with his arm and fist. So like point his fist at something, you know? So
it's gonna be like Frankie in One Piece with this giant right hook or whatever he calls it. Strong right.
Yeah, strong right. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen. So Void is dead, and Shen realizes that Voido, as you like to say, with the terrible Japanese translation of Void, has been defeated, and he gets ready to fight Andy. Andy says, we need another open seat on the for me. So they begin to spar, and all of Andy's attacks are being blocked, which is kind of crazy. And Andy realizes that Shen's power is all about opposites. So they're going at it, and Fuko comes running into the scene with the katana that Andy had at the beginning and throws it to Andy, and he doesn't catch it. He just lets it stab him through the shoulder. So his body is now a hilt for his sword. So that's badass.
Well, it was a hill for a sword like the whole episode,
I
I
know,
think.
dude. It's just stupid.
I love it, honestly.
And Andy comes in like, let's see how you parry an attack you can't block. Because Shen had been blocking every single punch, kick, whatever that Andy had thrown at him. And Shen realizes Andy goes to attack him, and Shen realizes that he froze for a split second. And he's like, oh, you must just not like killing people. And, starts to walk away from the fight. I think he's going to let him go. And he basically says there's one seat open, and Andy's like, oh, let Fuko have it. I'll go back to your lab. You can terrorize me. And Fuko's like, no, you've already been through this before. We can't do that. And he's like, oh, it's fine. I'll figure out a way to slip out of there. Even if you're an old hag, I am going to show you the night of your life. So he's still all about getting down and dirty with our girl Fuko here.
Yeah, but earning it. Keyword.
He did earn it right there, man. He earned it totally. And after this, Fuko tells Shen to turn around because she's going to give Andy some lovin', some totally X-rated shit.
Ow, chicken, wow, wow.
So because her body, she's never experienced any romance, and this might be her only opportunity. And she just full on just takes her shirt off. She's like, let's get down right here, right now. We're in the rubble of this skyscraper that just fell down. And it might give you the unluck you need to die. And she apologizes that she can't do more. And this scene just caught me so off guard. I was not ready for that.
I thought she was gonna like kiss him or something, or I don't know, something like that,
Dude, she was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do it good.
Then she took off her shirt. I was like, wait, is she gonna like flash him or let him like, I don't know. I didn't know where it was going. Then she was like totally X-rated stuff. It's my first time, take it easy on me, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, what?
The R&B music should have been playing in the background, dude.
Oh,
would have really
definitely.
set the vibe.
Definitely.
But after this, Shen just bursts out laughing and realizes that splitting these two up wouldn't be right. Shen gives them the information on another member of the Union and says if you can kill them, you'll be golden to join. And they'll be at Lake Byball, wherever that is, and to look for a red necktie and emblem. Shen leaves through a portal and says, hey, we'll see you at the round table. And Andy comes up with this crazy plan. So Andy just keeps getting more ridiculous every time we hear him talk. He's got bunkers all around the world. He's got a fucking yacht. He's like, yeah, we'll drive it full speed up to Nagata. We'll take my yacht to a Russian port. We'll hop on a jet to this Russian province, Irist, where the target will be. And he's going to call up some of his old military buddies to join the fight. And then you just hear Andy go, Russia, vodka. And he's just hyped to go get plastered. Like, I love this character. He might be one of my favorite anime characters in a long time.
He's definitely fun.
And he ends the episode basically saying they'll celebrate a drink of some vodka because she's of age there. And then we get to the ending. I thought the ending was kind of a banger too. What do you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. It was like a slower pace though, but it definitely had some
a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, I almost wonder. I mean, we all know that's Andy in there, but I wonder who the lady is. I mean,
Dude,
I have.
Yeah, she's like a mysterious woman who looks like she just left a funeral. And like Andy's dressed in a white suit, she's dressed in black. It really, I want to see where it goes.
So you thought it was a funeral, huh?
She looks like she was at a funeral, dude. Why would you wear a black veil like that otherwise, right?
I thought maybe a wedding, maybe.
Brides wear white unless it's different in Japan. I know in Japan you wear white for funerals, but the black really threw me off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely weird. We definitely know as Andy. He looked kind of older.
I thought he looked younger.
Really? Okay.
The animation was different. The animation was very different. It kind of reminded me of the scene from the manga at the very beginning.
Okay, yeah, I got you. But yeah, we got to see Andy and Fuko in different clothes too. Won't really say what they was because that is a spoiler too.
It was a spoiler for me. It was a spoiler for everybody. But that's an anime right there. That's what they do.
I guess we know the results coming up soon, so we know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen already. So
Yeah, and they had a little preview scene at the end too, and I just remember seeing a jet plane chasing it on a yacht. So next episode is gonna be fucking action packed as well.
yeah, we get to see like a another girl too. So it's so
Yeah, I'm sure she's the negator they're hunting down.